Long ago, the two nations lived together in harmony. Then, the Fire Nation attacked. And then only Ice, the opposite element, could face it. But when the world needed him the most, he disappeared. Okay, it's Water Girl and Fire Boy. But for you newer generation Elemental, the hundreds of plants in the Plants vs Zombies 2 catalog, both the fire and the ice plants show unique elements that I feel like will cause quite a stir up of the typical way of playing PvZ2 and is going to create an interesting playthrough. But before we get deeper, let's lay down some ground rules that we can abide by for this video that will make this actually doable. So we can only use ice and fire plants, and we are also not allowed to level these plants up because we're not gonna let EA let this be a purchase game, which you all know they love to do. We're also not gonna allow any power-ups, which is those three: ice, the flippy one, and also the electrocuted one, you know, the one that goes zzz. And also we're gonna allow gimmick levels to be fine, so that if there's any pre-placed plants, we're just gonna let them, because there's no way around this in the game. So we're gonna let them to happen because some of them do happen. So these are the rules that we're gonna abide by for this whole series. So let's just get straight to the game. Whoa, taking us all the way back to it. Actually, yeah, it's actually modern day. The story hasn't started yet. Yeah, this tutorial levels. And after unlocking a character that we actually can't use in the Fire vs Ice, we allow it with not one but six pea shooters, and we unlock the Sunflower, one of the most useful characters in the game, but one we simply can't use. And I didn't place that pea shooter, but make an easy breeze of level 3, but it got awfully close with the lawnmower. Thankfully they made it easy for bad people to play this game. But level 4 also being a breeze and unlocking Lettuce Man, and this Lettuce Man is a problem because we can't use him. Anyways, and we move on to the final level, day 5, where we quickly make light work of the plants that we are now allowed to use, and we unlock the hot sauce. Hey neighbor, can I borrow the hot sauce? And he quickly puts that bad boy onto the taco, eats it, and he needs a time machine, and we go back. Yeah, that's how we are here. And we end up with a pea shooter, so yeah, can't even use him. So we end up just leaving the zombies walk past. But there's a very unique thing that happens when we let the lawnmowers take care of them. Yep, they respawn. So for the first couple of levels, it's going to be quite literally letting them walk to their deaths, and the final wave, just taking them out. So we can use this for the first couple of levels before it starts to get hard, and we're slowly going to unlock some of the basic things in the game that, yet again, we can't use, like the jar of powers. We begin day 2 with quite a lot of plants, to be fair, but we're just going to unplant them all, and yep, just let them walk through and get to the next level. Upon beating level 2, we do unlock the map that will give us access to some characters we can actually use, but level 4 and also level 5 were very easy levels that we just breezed through by literally not touching a single button. And we finally got to unlock a character we can use, being the iceberg. And level 6 is a level that we did have to use plants. I know it's tragic, but in the rules specified that this was allowed because it just wouldn't be beatable because we don't have the plants needed to beat it. Okay guys, I made a little purchase. Let me introduce you to my 2 best friends, Fire Pea and Snow Pea, and they pack a punch. Wow, these plants are actually absolutely insane, but there is some consequences to these plants being they're actually quite expensive. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we can't use the sunflower, so there's gonna be some issues to this throughout, but we make quick work of day 7. And moving on to day 8, we did get to spawn with an iceberg plant already planted, so we can freeze the top guy and we can place it. This is where the game actually will get quite difficult because we can only rely on sun dropping from the sky, and PvZ2 the sun is inflated, which is a lot nicer than the original game if this was to be done in the original game. And we can also put down the fire one and ice one. I'm just mixing and matching both of them to find out which one can kill this geologist. I don't know, okay? Whichever one kills him quicker, and it's definitely not fire because wow, he got way too close for my liking. Now on to level 14. Yeah, I said 14 there. We had a bit of a issue to say with the files, but don't let that hinder you. We move on to the method I like to call that I figured out between 8 and 14. If it ain't snowing, I ain't go. Yeah, I guess he wasn't really a fan of the snow bunnies. But anyways, we move on to level 15 where we see that the plant's made a call on the banana. I don't know if it's the banana or the plant's making a phone call through a banana phone to, because like plants versus. Anyways, yeah, we kind of run through this really quickly. Really easy level. Now we move on to a level where we actually got to have a bit of money to do what we wanted to do, and I went for a plan of going with a line of ice peas, fire peas, and ice peas, and it actually made quick work of the level. And I moved us on to the next level, and that one spot right there kind of annoyed me. But we move on to a level where there was these green blobby things which kind of distracted the placement of our plants, but nevertheless we go with a beautiful snow pea method of starting out and eventually just hitting every lane with snow pea and not being worried. And the only issue we had was this buckethead who was stupidly strong for no reason. It took 3 snow peas to get him down, but once we had down, we move on to an ad. We move on to a level where we gotta slowly build up some sun just to get our infrastructure working, but we did finally get an upgrade that gives us an extra 25, making it easier to get the fire pea, but we're actually not using it as much because especially in ancient Egypt, the snow peas are just a lot more effective use than the fire pea being more expensive, which we're going to come back a lot more important throughout the deeper parts of the game, especially in frostbite caves, which is it's going to be eventful. But we make light work. This is where it gets a bit problematic, where we have to actually use the iceberg lettuce to slow down some of the zombies before we can save up enough money to get some snow peas on those lanes. But once we get snow peas up on the lane, it becomes really light work, especially with their ability to freeze them in the spot and just chip away at their heart, making quick work of it and just getting us that bag of money. That brings us on to level 24, also known as our Jordan day, being our best day. We got to start off first placing down a beautiful snow pea, which you know the method at this point. We get snow peas down, put them onto every single row, and we basically dominate. And it's quite easy. There's no zombie really posing a challenge except for these dogs, dog-like sphinxes, I think they're called. I don't sphinx. Why can't I say any of these names? But yeah, they're the only challenge that we're actually truly getting. Even the bucket heads don't really pose too much of a zombie. And day 23 being yet another easy level, except for that big guy. He became a big problem, especially with the bucket head in front of him, and I had no sun left over. So we had to do a little method of freezing, and also saving up our plant food and spending some money on it. But to use all of our powers just to get rid of it so we don't lose a lot more. And I think it was a good decision. We got the Gargantua out of here, and we move on to the next day, being day 24. And this is the last level we get to actually have sun and have a preset level based down that we could just instantly have a nice setup. And we went for a ice, fire, ice method on the first 3 lanes, because obviously we're not allowed to put sunflowers down for this row either. We wait for the tombstone to get eliminated so we can place down a complete roll of snow pea. And I decided at the time to do this because I felt that the ice and the fire did a lot more damage than ice, doing a lot more and it'd be refrozen. But I forgot to say and think that it would just be melted, so caused a bit of issue. But nevertheless, we flew through, unlocking our last and final plant. But also we can't use this. And the final level, we lost it quite a few times, so this is going to be one of those levels that I'm just going to allow us to use the plants that we were given from the conveyor. I know, it's tragic, but it had to be done. I still really struggled with the plants. It's a little embarrassing, but he kept deciding to run through my defenses and make it really hard, shooting missiles out of his eye, jumping up and down the screen and spawning all the bad guys that we don't like to see. But we kept moving, kept replanting, kept using power-ups, because if we didn't have power-ups, I would have been cooked, like properly cooked. And he just kept destroying all the useful lanes I had built up, and he started spawning gargantuars. Why would you spawn them in? There's already a problem. Not 1, 2, not 2. He decided to spawn 3. And they ended up obviously taking my lawnmowers, because I don't know how you defend against 2 gargantuars and survive it without doing it. So I built up all my plant food to destroy this guy before, but he decided to spawn some amazing characters in after the tombstones being placed down, and I actually couldn't place anybody down because there's 2 stones in the place, right? So I was basically cooked. No lawnmower on the site. Gargantua are coming in. There was no way of me winning. But I decided to spend some of my coins on the amazing plant food that we had and spam it. And I know that a plant cannot be eliminated while going Super Saiyan. So I just spammed that one until he was eliminated, froze him, purchased one last one, and destroyed the Gigantico. And once we had that done, life became a little easier just for now, and we spammed it. And we won one final plant-fooded plant. We eliminated him, bringing us to Pirate Cove. And if you want to see us run through Pirate Coves with fire-enhanced plants, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.